Welcome to the Investment Process Channel. I'm C3 Christopher Campbell. This channel where we teach people how to create generational wealth through trading. What we're going to do today, we're going to go to a Tradovate account. I have been trading with TradingView, and the funded account that I work with is Tradovate. So we're going to go through how to set a trailing stop loss and what it looks like in TradingView as opposed to Tradovate. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we are in Tradovate. What we're going to do is set up a trailing stop. This is specifically for trailing stops. You can set up other stops. I will discuss them a little bit, but I mostly use trailing stops because I scout. So you'll have to set this up depending on what instrument you're trading, and you have to make adjustments for there. So let's go over it. All right, so right now, ATM, you want to have that on. This cog right here to the right of ATM, and ATM means at the market. So what it's going to do when you set this up, it's going to give you the best price at that time in the market whenever it executes. So that's what ATM means. Somebody else asked me, so I have it for you. ATMs, gonna turn them on, right? Let's go ahead and make a quick name for it, because you want to set this up depending on what instrument you're trading. And the reason why this is so important is, for me, I use ticks. As the market moves, it's going to move differently for each instrument. So you want to set this up based on whatever instrument you're using. Right now, the one that we're working with is NASDAQ. So click OK. And you can have delta price value. I use ticks. If you go to some of my other videos, you'll understand why. Ticks takes out the emotional connection with money. If you're only going for ticks, you want like 4 ticks, 5 ticks, 1 tick, it takes out the amount in the emotional value. Now, you always do risk management before you get into your trade, but I use ticks. Type. So take profit, stop loss only, take profit only, right? So I want to set up a take profit and stop loss. I'm going to click the plus here. I don't need to just yet. Hold on. So take profit, let's say 10 ticks. Stop loss, I want a 1 to 5. So that's not really. Let's do a 6 tick stop loss, and let's make this 12. So it's 2 to 1, right? So here's your stop loss type. So you go ahead and click on this. This is where it comes in. So you can just have a stop. You have a stop limit, trailing stop limit, auto break even, auto trail, auto break even, and trail. So what I do is a auto break even and trail. The reason why I do that, it's a stop, it's a trailing stop, but it'll move as your position increases or decreases, depending on if you're selling or buying. As your profit increases, like you get ticks in your favor, it'll adjust. So we're gonna go into the rest of it. So type, we're doing a take profit and stop loss. Take profit is 12 ticks. Stop loss is 6. Again, we're doing the auto break even and auto trail. So auto break even, you'll see it's going to trigger once we hit a certain threshold, right? So once, in this case, what's our take profit? 12. I'll say once we hit a profit trigger of 8 ticks plus 1. Our stop loss, what do we set it at? 6. So I wanted to trigger at 4. Profit trigger once we hit 4 ticks. Frequency, what are we doing? 6, 12. Every 5 ticks. So what this does is specifically what this does is we said, hey, for our ATM named NAS for NASDAQ in ticks, our take profit and stop loss, our take profit will be at 12 ticks. Our stop loss will be set at 6 ticks. Again, auto break even, auto trail. Because I want to auto break even, auto trail, we're going to drop down here to the profit trigger. So profit trigger is going to happen once we hit 8 ticks. So once we hit 8 ticks, everything's going to initiate, right? Where it starts initiating the trail, right? So the break even will jump up. So you'll be at a 0 loss at that point, right? The auto trail is +1, right? So every 8 + 1, so when it jumps up to 9, it'll move up 1 tick. When it jumps up to 10, it'll move up. It'll now be 2 ticks up, right? So we'll always be at a profit trigger of 8 until we hit our goal of 12, right? So at 12, and that's 4 above 8. So your stop loss or your auto trail would be 4 ticks above break even at that point. So whatever you decide to set it at, just understand, like, profit trigger is at 8. So at 8, you're in there. That's your break even. Then as it goes up 1, it'll start moving up 1 as well. Stop loss trigger is going to be at 4. So once it starts ticking down to 4, your stop loss will be automatically initiated, and it'll set your stop loss at 6, and it'll go from there. Frequency every 5. So as I was saying, once you hit that frequency break even, so every 5 ticks, it'll start adjusting. It'll start adjusting, right? So going back here, and once it's initiated, so every 5 ticks outside of that, it'll start adjusting. When I said earlier, I said +1. It won't do that until it hits 5 ticks above 8. So 5 ticks above 8 is 13, but we have it at 12. So let's move this to, let's do 18, because then it'll make sense. So that's a 3-to-1, right? Take profit, my risk is 6, and my take profit is 18 ticks. So that's a 3-to-1, right? So perfect. That's a nice setup. So what you also can do with this blue button here, not the top one. The top one is to add other templates, right? That's, we got NAS, so I'm gonna, you hit click OK, so I can add another one, right? We're not gonna add another one. Down here, it's another profile, target 2. So let's say you go in for, let's say 4. What I'm talking about is 4. I trade minis. This will be whatever lot size or whatever size entry that you come in with, right? Let's say it's 44. Depends on what you're trading. If you're trading minis, if you're trading micros, those numbers will be different. But that's what this is. Let's say you come in. We start out with 4. Let's say I want my first TP at 18 to be 3. So I'm gonna close out most of my order for 3 at 18. But I want my next one to be at 24, right? But I'm gonna leave everything the same. Profit trigger 8, trail +1. It's gonna auto trail at +1. Frequency every 5. So every 5 ticks, it's gonna go up +1, +1, +1. So again, in those cases where we hit 15, right? We hit 15, that'll be 3 ticks above, right? Once we hit 15, it'll be 3 ticks above. Profit trigger 444. So, and if you let's say we wanted to move this to a 2, I close out half. When I hit 18, I got one more, and we can add one more target. I got to scroll over here to the right. add one more target, and that would be our total 4, right? And we can make this 30. I'm just yep. Multiples of 6. So, and that's a 5-to-1 at that point. And same thing. It'll trail, and you'll have that. You click save. And the awesome part about this is once you do it, you can automatically click this, right? And ATM is at the market. So you can buy bid, you can buy, sell ask. Buy bid means if you're buying, it's whatever the bid is at that time. So the best price at that market, that's what ATM means, best price at that market. What it does is if you have this set up, it automatically initiates your buy program, right? Automatically. So like I just set that up for 4. I'm automatically buying in for 4 entries, right? So again, if you have micros, it'll be 40, right? Same thing. And again, I trade futures. So I click buy bid. So I have a buy position. And it'll automatically set up my stop loss, my trailing stop loss, my break even, and everything just by buying it. It'll buy at the market. That's the benefit of having that. Let's go over to TradingView. Okay, so we're here on TradingView. TradingView does not have the same option. However, what I did realize, let's go to the daily. So go ahead down here to trade, create order. They only have stop loss and take profit, right? So you can set up a nice bracket order. You put your units in. We were saying 4 ticks. Stop loss maybe, and let's do exactly what we said. We say six ticks, and our take profit. What do we end up with? 30. Then you just click buy. So you set up a nice bracket order. It'll execute. It's a limit, so it'll go wherever you put it. Right now the price is at 21,863. That's what it'll execute at, right? It's a little different than the ATM order, which is at the market, right? So it'll initiate right at the market, whatever the best price says at that time for that buy, you're in there, right? So it's just the same thing as clicking market, market purchase, right? At the same time on Tradovate, it'll initiate a buy order with all of your settings, right? You have your take profit, you have your stop loss, everything executed one time. The good part is purchase order on Tradovate, it will show up in TradingView. It's not showing up now, and I also noticed that my like when I set up like anything, they start showing up in Tradovate. Your any of your trend lines, any of those things, they have been showing up in Tradovate, which is awesome. So once you execute, you can come over to TradingView and manage it. However, if you want to take the most out of your trailing stops, do it in TradingView. Maybe soon TradingView you'll be able to do that where you can do a trailing stop. As for right now, it's not available to us. So it's a extra step, which is why it's so important to go ahead and set up the pre-set up bracket order. So all you have to do is hit the action button, and it instantly does it. So see, here are your trend lines, and I just accidentally moved that. I set these trend lines up in all of these trend lines up in TradingView, and they transferred over to Tradovate, which is awesome. So just understand that they kind of support each other, but all of the features are not available to you. So, but that's it. Hopefully this was very useful to you. If you have any questions about the trailing stops and how to execute them, if you just want to just execute a trailing stop and not have to set up a whole bracket order or whatever, I can answer whatever questions for that. But I learned how to do that today. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Have a great trading week. This is C3 Christopher Campbell. This is the Investment Process Channel.